Hello everybody, this is Christine coming to you live from the Cards by Christine studio located in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and tonight is the Tropical Oasis card class. So I'm very excited to be here with you, even though we're not in person. We are definitely more than 6 feet away from each other, and I'm just super excited to be here. This is my third day in a row with doing a Facebook Live with you. I hope that you enjoyed the paper pumpkin class I did last night. I couldn't believe I did all those cards in an hour. I didn't really have that goal when I first started, but as I started working, I'm like, oh, I want to show you that we can get a paper pumpkin done in an hour. So what came out of that was that I think that once a month, we should have a paper pumpkin party, putting our paper pumpkins together. So would you like that? Make sure you let me know. I've had a couple people give me that idea, and I think it's fabulous. So I'll look for a certain night of the week later in the month after everybody's got their paper pumpkins, and that way we can sit down and put the cards together. So welcome to the show. Yay! I'm trying to give a few people some time to get logged in, and I figured out that I just need to refresh my screen, and then I can follow along with the comments along with Facebook on my laptop. So I'm super excited. Tonight's class is the Tropical Oasis class. Normally I would be doing this live and in person with, I had 6 people that signed up to take this class. There were a couple more, but 6 is the number that actually they wanted the kits. And so that was super exciting for me. So this is my first go at this. I think that this might be something I'm going to keep doing in the future, is doing a live class for the bundle class. And if you order the kits or a set of cards by a certain date, then you could watch the live video and put your cards together. So super exciting stuff is coming out of this whole coronavirus. And when you have lemons, you make lemonade, right? So, all right, I'm just going to see if I can see this, and I should be able to. Here it is. Yay. Okay, so what happens is I've got my laptop on the side, and I'm going to try to follow some comments. So try to interact with you if you have questions, because I primarily am doing this online class for the people that wanted to do the class. And what the great benefit of this is that everybody who sees this video could potentially make these cards or make similar cards or be inspired from them. So that's awesome, isn't it? So the bundle class that I have was the Tropical Oasis bundle class. And if you bought the bundle from me by a certain date, you got a half a pack of the paper free. So I'm very excited to announce Angela was one of the gals that took advantage of that deal. And so she will be picking up her order soon. I think on Monday is what we made out, and she'll get a half a pack of paper for a free gift from me for placing the bundle order by a specific date as her registration for class. So yay! Congratulations, Angela. Free gifts are always awesome. So I have here some other things that I want to share with you before we go ahead and start making the cards. Yesterday, I'm going to flip my camera down so you can see what I'm working at. So yesterday, we put together the paper pumpkin from March, and the paper pumpkin consisted of 12 cards, 3 designs, and there were 4 cards of each. And I did a shout out that, hey, does somebody in your life need some uplifting words or a cute card in the mail? And so Stacy, I will be sending out to the person you requested, and then Kelly had a couple people that she had requested. So I have here, there's 9 left. And what I would like to know is, hey, if there's anybody that you want me to send a card to, please tell me. I want to spread the love. So the other thing too is I would like your help with sharing this video. So share this video on your timeline, or share it in whatever group. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a lucky winner, and the winner will receive one of each of these cards with the matching envelope. So there was just these awesome color coordinating envelopes. I will send the 3 cards in a bigger envelope so that you can choose who you want to send your 3 cards out to. So thank you for sharing and liking this video. I really appreciate your support. This is going to help me blossom into doing more online things, and sharing is going to help me grow as well. So that's what my deal is for sharing and liking the video. I will draw a winner, and maybe by Friday. We'll make sure that Kelly, my cousin, helps me, and she helps keep me honest. So we will draw a winner for that. So let me get those out of the way. And then also, before we get started, I want to go over my schedule a little bit. If you don't have a paper copy, you can reach out to me and I can send a paper copy to you in the mail, but I do have to make some revisions to it. So I just wanted to go over in a nutshell. We had the Safer at Home. They always have a hashtag in front of it, but whatever our governor's calling it, Safer at Home, is effective through April 24th. So that kind of puts a damper on my whole April schedule. So I just wanted to do a little bit of, for those people that are watching this, know what's going on. I have the Celebration Hoorah Rah class. I was going to do that in person on Sunday and Monday, and that needs to change. And it's going to be an online class. So just like what tonight's going to be, we're going to make these four, I'm going to make these 4 cards, and you can follow along with me. I do have people that want the kits, so they could watch the video and work on the cards along with me. Or if you would prefer the completed cards, I could make your set of cards up for you. The cost for that one is $15 or free with a $25 purchase. So if you want to get some cool cards. Easter bingo, I'm going to move that to an online bingo. I've never done an online bingo, but I'm going to figure out how to do it. And it's not going to be April 1st though, because I need a little time to figure out who wants to do it and get cards mailed out to people, or I don't know. We'll figure that one out. So celebrations, those are going to be definitely in-person events. I want to celebrate with you in person, especially after this coronavirus is past us and we can hang out again and be together, especially more than 6 people or 6 feet away and more than 10 people in a room. So these are on hold. You've definitely earned your spot at them. If you've gotten an email from me, there's still time to earn your spot at them. And if you can't make the new dates, you'll still get your to-go kit of the cool honeybee sampler. So just know that those are going to be rescheduled. Now, I did my monthly class for March online for those 16 people that couldn't make it. And I decided for the month of April, that's what we're going to have to do as well. So I have my club class on April 13th, and that's the night I'm going to do the online version of the class. And prior to that, I will make sure that my club members get their card kits. And anybody who wants to sign up for the monthly card making class, I will have a deadline by when you need to tell me by, so that I can prep your kits for you so that you can put them together by watching the online, like the replay. Super cool. So that's what I'm going to do for the monthly card making class and the club class. And my coffee and chickens card class, that's going to have to reschedule because Tyler's making breakfast with me for you. So I have about 15 people already signed up for that. And I'm believing that that's not going to happen on those days. I just have to find different dates. So, and other than that, going just towards the end of April, our date here is April 24th, that we are supposed to be good, or quote unquote good. So I think that at this point, I'm keeping the stuff at the end of April. The Mountain Air card class won't be on Sunday. Actually it will be. It's going to be from 1 to 4:30 or 1 to 4, and then our team meeting then is at 4:30. And I'm going to go with these last 2 as of right now. So I hope you guys are taking good notes on that. I'm also going to be redoing this sheet, and I will email it out to everybody who is on my distribution list. So that's that. All right, now on to the Tropical Oasis Suite. So when I do a bundle class or a suite class, it's usually a bundle class though, but in this case, it's a whole suite of product that I use to make these cards. The Tropical Oasis stamp set, and I know that the glare, there it is, the stamp set, framelits, all of that is in the mini catalog. So this is the mini catalog. It goes through June 3rd of 2020. And this is on pages 38 and 39, and I think it flips over here to the next page 40 as well. So the suite is awesome. So when I do a bundle class in person, I like to show everybody all the different products that are available in the suite. and then we go through and make the cards. So in this case, the Tropical Designer Series paper, that is 12 by 12 paper. It comes with, I think, 12 sheets, and they're double-sided, and I have this little paper pack here so that I can show you the different patterns. Now these are just 3 by 3, so this is just a sampler, but you get 2 sheets of each, and they're each double-sided. So that's the pretty flowers. These are the the woody cars. I laugh because I never knew that's what they were called until somebody told me. I think Bonnie's the one that told me they were called that. Some more pretty flowers. Here are the leaves, and then here you got the fruits of our labor, and then we've got the bird. I call these bird's eye plants. So now you flip them over and you've got more soft, subdued colors. So like here is a pretty green background, but it's all the little palm trees. This one is the yellow, so saffron with the pineapples. Here we've got the flamingos going on and flirty flamingo. Now these next 3 are my 3 favorite pieces of paper or like designs from this pack. You got the pool party with like little fans. You've got this brownish color. It's like a mix of espresso and, I don't know, different browns. But there's a light little pattern to it. And then you've got the old olive pattern, like that looks like kind of burlappy. So those are my 3 favorite pieces of paper from here, but they're all cool. And I've used a bunch of them in this. So then the next thing in here is a stamp set and the framelits. And I have that here as well to show you. I've got a lot of them out already to use for the class tonight. But this is the Timeless Tropical Stamp Set. It is a red rubber stamp set. When I get rid of the outer layer and I keep my sheets, and then I keep my stamps right where those are, so I know if I'm ever missing any. And no, I'm not missing any for that. They're just all in blocks, ready for you to see me use. Here are the dies. I absolutely love pineapples and palm trees. So this set was a must for me as soon as I saw it. We're going to be using these tonight to make the pineapples, and then we use the palm trees, the hibiscus flower. And then in this suite also is the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. So we're going to go ahead and use that in class tonight. Then what else do we have here? All right, the trinkets. Oh my goodness, I love them. So there's this teeny tiny pineapple. There's a leaf. There's a ukulele. I corrected on that one too. I called it a guitar in the beginning, but it is a ukulele. And there is one more, and that one more is a flower. And the flower looks like, it's on the card already. It's right here. So it's the flower. So the trinkets come in this suite, as well as the braided burlap trim. I love this. Great addition to any card. Very natural, neutral looking. So we'll need that in a little bit. And then there's a couple more things. There's the Stays On Saddle Brown ink. Honestly, it looks like half poop to me, but just my honest opinion. But it gives you a really different brown color for the pineapples, kind of like an antique-y look if you look in the book here. There is an ink pad, and then there's a re-inker, and this is Stays On, so it's a permanent ink. You will need to use the Stays On cleaner if you get that ink. So that's that. And lastly is the Tropical Oasis Memories and More card pack. So I was gonna grab that and I completely forgot, but I brought down some cards that I've made with that. So the Memories and More card pack comes with 25 designs of 2 each. So 50 cards of different sizes, 3 by 4, and then the 4 by 6. And they were great. Like all I did was add that one 3 by 4 to a white card base. That was a Memories and More card base, and added a sentiment, the little ukulele, and some of the trim. So this is a class that I did, when was that? What our month are we in? March. This was, I think, in February. So it was a product-based class where you got the Memories and More card pack, you got some trinkets, you got a little burlap, and you got the note cards and envelopes. So this is just an example of what you could make with those. And here's some bigger cards. There we got the flamingo in there, Maloha, and some thanks cards. So all right, so that's the Memories and More. Let's get those out of the way. You girls and guys, I have a hot mess. Like, that's all around me. So that's the Tropical Oasis suite of products. My next bundle class that I will be doing during the month of April. So every month I do a bundle class. So the next month, just to keep you ready for it, it's exciting. It's the Mountain Air Bundle. So we are going to be using all the products featured in the stamp set and the dies, and I'm going to make some really, really pretty neutral outdoorsy cards. So this will be one where I will do an online class, and if you want, you can get the kits ahead or purchase the completed cards from me. So, all right. So the cards that we're making tonight, the Tropical Oasis cards that I have designed for you, or cased, I should say. I am a big caser, which means copy and share everything. So I'm just gonna pull in all 4 of them here so you can see them. I am gonna pull in the different products that I've used as I have them here with each card. But I tried to use a lot of the different stamps from the bundle and the different dies. I used the embossing folder on 3 of the cards. I used the trinkets and the burlap on a few. So I tried to pull in all of the products from the suite to make the card. So I do have some of the steps already done for some of the cards, so you don't have to watch me do that. And some I might make you struggle through and watch me, but I decided that we're gonna do this card first. So this one, I'm doing it first. Let's see where it is even. Okay, this must go over here. So I have 3 sets of cards that that have extra here. So those 6 people that got the kits, they're all set. But when I prep for a class, I always make 4 cards to have as samples out on the table. So luckily, I hadn't put my other 3 sets together. I didn't plan that way, but I've got some of the stuff prepped already for them because all I really have to do is put them together. So what I'm gonna do is show you, it's like in some of the cases I have some of the stamping done so that you don't have to watch me do that, but there's some tricks I wanna show you. I've got some of the things already die cut here. In this case, I'm gonna show you how I did the sponging, and I've got my window frame already done here. So we'll start with the card base. So this card base is crumb cake, and it measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Now, you don't have to score your cards when they're this way, but I, for over 2 years now, I've been scoring them for every one of my classes, except for 2. I forgot for 2 of them, but hey, that's pretty good. So you've got your card base, so we just need one of those, and I have an inside here. The inside is just a regular mat, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So it's 4 this way and 5 1/4. I call that a first mat. So that is what would go on the inside here. So the palm tree though, you can see there's a palm tree here and there's a palm tree here. And I've already got them stamped, but I want to show you how I did that. So let us find the ink here. The inks that I used for doing this are Pear Pizzazz, and I used a soft suede marker. It was a lot easier to use a marker on the bottom than to use an ink pad. So what I do on this case is I'm using 2 different inks on the same stamp. Yep, you can do that. So what you're gonna do is, it's important to not go too far over. So what I'm watching is, let's see if I go more up and down here. I am watching where I'm putting the ink, and I'm trying to put the ink only where the tree is, like the leaves are. And then I want to get some right in the middle there, okay? So basically what I've done is just put ink on the top. And now when you have your water-based markers, the Stampin' Write markers, you can use them like ink pads. So I would take the brush tip end, and I'm just gonna draw on my trunk here with the soft suede. I tried this with the ink pad, and it was really too hard to get it to go exactly where I wanted it to line up. So now that you've got that, and I've got mine already done, what you would do is just go and stamp on your white paper. And you know what I'll do? No, I'm just gonna do it right on here. So straight down, straight up, and now you've got your 2-tone tree, which is awesome. So you have the trunk the color you want, and you have the leaves, fernies, the color that you want. So, all right, so that's how I did that. So I've already done that. Let's see here. I can just move that off to the side. So I've already done that. And what I'm gonna do is take my liquid glue, and with liquid glue, you can do a little bit, like dot, dot, not a lot, or just a little bit all the way around the edge. Less is best with the liquid glue. It's like a tacky craft glue. So, oh, you can see. I'm sorry. I hope I don't confuse you. I do have 3 sets going on here. So I will put the other 2 sets together at another time. So I've got my inside glued in. All right. Now, let's pretend here I've already got, you know, the 1 tree is what I need. Now, this beach chair. So I've got that's from the die. The beach chair is from a set. It's called Seasonal Layers. It is a very versatile set for all the different seasons of the year. So you've got some snowflakes and leaves. You've got a cherry blossom tree. But in here is this beach chair, which has a specific name to it, and I just don't remember what it is. So we, if anybody knows, you can go ahead and tell me what it is. So, but that's the beach chair where that came from. And all I did was I die cut that out of Whisper white paper. So we've got those 2 things. And then our words. I got lovely lipstick going on here. So in the dies, it comes with the word aloha. So on one of my cards, I'm gonna put aloha. On my sample here, I did do hooray. So the hooray though, if you're wondering where that comes from, that is a die set called Well Written Framelits. And there's birthday sympathy, bride, groom, all different words, and there's some vines there too and some butterflies. So that's where I got the hooray from and the thanks from. So in like an in-person class, what I would have done is given people the option of what they wanted. But for this, what I've done is this one's gonna get hooray and my other 3 samples will get hooray, aloha, and thanks. So I think we're gonna put aloha on the card we're making because that's part of the set. Okay. And Stacy Ray, yay. Oh, a Dora deck chair. Sorry, don't know the spelling. Okay, well, there you go. So, all right. So then the other thing that we have is this frame part of it. So the frame here is your normal mat size. It's 5 1/4 by 4. And what I've done is take the stitched rectangles, and I believe it was this one right here. And I've cut that out of the middle of that. So I absolutely love these stitched rectangles. If you do not have these, you need to put them in your Stampin' arsenal because they are amazing. Anything with stitching, actually, I just love. So I'm biased to stitching stuff, but that's where the stitching comes from. And then the rectangle. Now, I ran the whole thing. So you wanna do the die cutting first because if you do the embossing first and then the die cutting, you kind of like flatten out your embossed. So after you've done the die cutting, this is called the Pinewood Planks embossing folder. And what you'll do is run that through. Now this is the old style. So I have the thicker embossing folder. And when you have the old style, you need to use the clear plate. But if you've gotten a new one recently, then you would use your blue plate. Okay, so that's how I got the frame like that. So now we've got almost all of our pieces here. And you also see here I've got the flowers. The flowers actually come from this die as well. There are 3 flowers. They are attached in one die, but they cut out separate flowers. So I used the little flower for that one. So we need that little flower, and I can set the other 2 away. Hey, Angie, I see that you joined us as well. All right, thank you for watching. Okay, now, last but not least, certainly not least, we have to do the shading, the sponging. So this kind of like scares people a little bit, but you don't need to be scared from it. So you can see I've got my 3 ink colors lined up here. So I've got the crumb cake for the sand, I've got balmy blue for my sky, and I've got Pacific Point for my water. So what I'm gonna do first is the crumb cake. I'm gonna start at the bottom and work my kind of self up from the bottom edge. Now, when you look at this frame, like part of the white isn't going to be showing. Part of that white, you can see I stamped them wrong. I stamped the tree on the smaller piece and it wasn't supposed to be, haha. 2 sides to every paper, remember that. So you're just working with this window. So when you're figuring out your sand here, you know you need to go up a little higher than what you really think. So I have a little scratch paper here. And when you're sponging, you dip your sponge into the ink and you always want to start off of the edge and then work your way onto it. if you go straight to your white paper, it's gonna look just, I don't know if you can see that really well, but it's grainy or granular. So if you start off, you get off some of that ink right away in the beginning, that's gonna be thick and heavy. And it's hard to see it. It looks like I'm going back and forth, but as I'm going back and forth, I am going in a more circular motion. And I don't know, I think I'm shaking my whole camera when I'm doing this, but you can see I'm kind of just going back and forth in a circular motion. Now this is called sponging, and you can do as light or as dark as you want. And so on here you can see I've got a little bit more dark over here, and I might want to come back on that edge and get that a little bit darker. Okay, but remember circular motion. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this up here to see if I got high enough. And in relation to my sample card, yeah, it looks pretty good. I went lower on that side and a little higher on that side. So what I might do is just bring this up a hair, a little bit more over there. Ha ha, that rhymed, a little bit more over there. Maybe not. I guess maybe not. All right. Anyways, next color, Balmy Blue. So Balmy Blue is going to be used for the sky. So you can see I've got 3 different sponges, and I use those sponges for each color until I'm done with them. Hey, Kelly, you got the stitched rectangles. Yay, you're going to love them. Okay, different sponges because different colors. So when you're all done, wash them out, and then it doesn't matter. You can use them again, but for different colors. You know, you just don't want to cross-contaminate them now while you are using them for each specific color. So sky is next. And what I'm doing, again, is circular motion, probably shaking the whole table, but it doesn't look like I am. Circular motion. Now, this is a lighter blue. It's going to be more like your sky. And I'm going to do the same kind of thing with the circular motion coming down, maybe like just a hair more. This is a cool way to color your paper, to get whatever color you want, like as a soft background. Okay, so let's look at what we got in our frame. Again, I'm gonna pull this back, and I think I'm gonna go just a little bit more. I think this happened too when I was making my sample originally, because when we go with our dark blue, it's gonna cover up anyways. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. All right, let's shut that up and grab our last color. Now this is where, it's not really a tricky part, but this is where a little bit of paper is going to come in handy. So you see on my card here, I've got a pretty great, like a pretty straight line across the back here. So what I'm going to do to accomplish this, you can see I made a couple of these already today. The kits that I did for people, a couple people I did their sponging, and a couple people I knew that had the right color inks at home. I did their sponging for them because I could do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm a righty, so I'm actually going to hold it like this, and I'm going to go, like I see I want about 1 inch of blue sky, and I want like that top border part. So I'm going to come right about here. Now this is where I'm going to put my paper and hold it down. This blue is very important that you kind of stamp off. It's really sharp looking. And same thing, circles. And what you're going to do is concentrate more at the top where your line is, and then work your way down. And then you're going to have your water meets your sand, and you're going to do that lighter. So you can see I'm not going over my sand so much, but I'm just kind of like coming up right to it and letting it meet with it, so it doesn't look like the sand's all washed up in it. So, okay, so Pacific Point, done, check. Okay, little hot mess with my sponges going on, but let's see what that looks like. Oh, I love it. Okay, cool. So you can save that paper and use it a few more times, like I have 2 more that I'm gonna make. All right, now I think we're ready to put this together. So let's grab all of our pieces. So what I did on this is I glued, oh, wait, hold up, wait a minute. We gotta put our birds on. Okay, gotta get our birds flying in the sky. So these birds are part of a set, and it's called High Tide. They are right here, and there are 6 of them flying through the air with the greatest of ease. But you can see on my card that I only put 3 of them. So you can do as many or as a few as you want, but all I do to get my 3 is I'm just going to ink up 3 of them, just like that. Be careful not to hit the bird, the wing there, you're gonna get a little speckle. So all I'm doing is I got a little ink on those. And I'm gonna kind of guess where I want them flying above the water. All right, boom, got those done. So those birds are awesome. Let's just go back really quick to this high tide. This has been in the annual catalog for a couple years, but it has a really pretty duet of like the lighthouse here. So you can do one darker, one lighter. It's got a ray coming out. It's got super cool sand, sun, the birds, water. I've used this water so much. I'm gonna show you how much I've used this set. Okay, look at this. Hang on. Okay, all this pink means love. Like this set is probably one of my most used sets. And I've made these extra templates to stamp the water around the sand. So if you don't have this one, this is a really good stamp set to get as well. So, all right, let's go back to putting our card together. Now that we have our sponging all done, our birds are on here. Let's put our glue. I'm a glue happy person. No, I shouldn't say that. I like liquid glue. So I'm a liquid glue person. I always say don't get glue happy on me because then you're putting oodles of glue everywhere. All right, so we got that glued down. I'm gonna grab my dimensionals from over here. I'm gonna flip over and check out what I want to do for mine. So when you do use the stitching with the dies, there's a top and a bottom to it. So I was just looking at that to see which was the top and bottom. And I'm gonna go really heavy with the dimensionals because this frame is kind of flimsy and I don't want it to sink in on me. So I'm gonna be using 4 on each side plus an extra 3 down the middle here. All right, my nails haven't grown much since yesterday. So every day I try to use my thumbnail to take off dimensionals, and every day I find that they still hurt when they get caught underneath my nail. So I broke this nail last week and I broke it right, like really, really close to the nail bed. And it wasn't fun breaking your thumbnail. And I'll tell you, those people, I'm gonna say this until my nail grows out, I really have an understanding now for people who have short nails. But that's why we have these magnificent tools like this Take Your Pick tool. It has this pokey end on the one side. You can see how it helps me to lift up the paper backing on these dimensionals. Okay, I think I got, not as fast as when I can use my fingers, but okay, there's cool. So this Take Your Pick tool, it's got this pokey side here, and then it's got like a spatula side on this one. There's one more piece that has a stylus on both ends, a small barrel and a big barrel, and then this is like a putty end that you can pick up things. Like you can see I can pick up my my paper there, so yay. Okay, now we got that done. This is ready to put on here, and you're probably thinking, wait, the palm trees, they get tucked behind. Well, that's all right. We are still gonna just tuck them right behind. Okay, now we've got that. So now I've got my palm tree. I've already stamped and die cut that out. This is gonna just slightly tuck in under here. So I'm gonna prep that with some dimensionals behind the tree here. So these are the mini dimensionals. I absolutely love them. I'm frugal with my dimensionals. I think everybody that knows me knows that. So when they came out with these mini dimensionals, I was in heaven. So I didn't have to cut them in half. All right, and that is, I want to use my thumbnail so bad, but I ripped that one right off. Okay, let's get that. Now, what I'm doing is putting dimensionals on the top, and I'm gonna put a little bit, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna put a little bit of liquid glue right at the base of these because I want them to be flat on the front of the card. So I'm gonna just tuck these in right behind here. Your palm trees can be crooked. You see palm trees when you go south. You see, I'm gonna want them down a little bit more. So when you go down to the south, you see that they can be crooked. So these are kind of like growing out of the frame. Now, the chair over here, I've got dimensionals back here and I've got it glued flat here. So to do that, I'm gonna find my glue scissors here, and on the edge of your dimensionals here, all you gotta do, cut yourself a strip like that, and I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. And so I've just made myself a new size of dimensional, and I gotta make sure I put on the right, look at that, I stamped something else there too. That's called using up paper. Okay, so I wanna make sure I get it on the right side. And then that one goes there. And then we're gonna put the next one maybe right here. So that's gonna help pop it up because you've got this little bit of gap here. So let's see, I'm gonna do one more with this one right in the middle. There. Okay. So what I'm doing in essence is popping up my chair on the left-hand side, and then what I will do is glue the bottom here. Let's see here, a little bit of liquid glue here. I'm hardly squeezing this bottle, so just know when you use the liquid glue, you do not need to squeeze hard to get it out. So, all right, then we're gonna pop our chair right in the corner, and then our aloha. Now, here's Bonnie's favorite thing. I hope when she watches the replay, she sees I'm gonna call her out. She loves her Stella. Okay, Bonnie, this is for you. Stella pen is a girl's best friend, and it is basically a glitter pen. It's controlled, so it won't flake off or cause you to get glitter in your eye and hurt you. So basically all I've done is just put a little bedazzle on there, and I'm gonna put that aloha right along the bottom here. And I'm gonna put my flower right on the side of the chair. So let's just put a little bit of glue here and stick that there. Now, my sample here has a little diamond, and so we have the rhinestones. Here's an easy way to pick up diamonds. Just use your scissors and get it on the end of your scissors, and it should slide right off. And that goes right in the middle of the flower. And then I'm gonna just put a little bit of liquid glue. Now, like this is a little fine thing here, so you don't want to squeeze really hard and get a hot mess all over your card front, or you'll be pulling out your adhesive eraser. So you can see, I don't know if you can even see that, but I put just a teeny tiny bit of that on there. So I'm gonna grab that. Where do we want to put it? Right about there. Okay, how is that looking? Are you girls liking it? I'm seeing that Angela's there. She just sold some markers. Okay. Yay, loving. Okay, how do you like it? We got one card done. Woohoo! All right. So I feel like I need to take like a break and have like a drink or something. But we're gonna keep rolling. All right, so that's our first card. Which one do we want to do next? I think I love the pineapple one. This was kind of like my favorite card. So we're gonna do this one next. All right, again, I've got my 3 sets here because that's normally what I do for class. So I'm going to pull out the pieces that I need and tell you what I did. And we're going to need that one and this one. And I think that's everything I need. Okay, let's set this off to the side so I don't confuse you. All right, on this one, let me grab my handy dandy little cheat sheets here. So we've got soft suede as our card base. All right, so you got your 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. We've got Pretty Peacock, and the Pretty Peacock measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then we've got this layer is Crumb Cake, 3 11/16 by 4 15/16. And this is I had run that through the embossing folder. So I've got my timeless, what is it called? The Coastal Weave. So I've done the Coastal Weave background on that. So I've already glued these together. So I glued the crumb cake onto the peacock with liquid glue, and then I did pop up the peacock with dimensionals, and you can kind of see them in there. So that's already done. Then I've got a little piece of burlap here. I've got my pineapple, and this is Daffodil Delight, and it is die cut out with the die cut. That makes sense, right? The bottom part of the pineapple. And then this is the top part of the pineapple. Super cool die cut. There are these little indentations, like these little cutouts of the top part here, so you can really make it look 3D. So you just want to bend those out like that. Now, before that all happens though, there's some texture on here, and it's probably really hard to see on the camera, but you might be able to catch it. So what I've done to do that on this card is this is the palm tree stamp set, or stamp, and there's crushed curry ink and old olive. What you're gonna wanna do to get this look is you are going to take the crushed curry, ink it up, and you're just gonna ink it up and stamp, and that gives you a little bit of the two-tone texture of the crushed curry on the daffodil. Clean up your stamp, And then you're gonna do the same thing in the Old Olive, and you're just gonna stamp, ink up, stamp. That's how you get the ink on there, and it's the leaves that you wanna use for that stamped part. So that was Old Olive and crushed curry. All right, so I do have here, when you run that through, there are some little pieces that I've done your die cutting for you. So there was a couple pieces that you might have to poke out of there. Okay, so to put this together then, you've got a leaf here, that's part of the trinket, two-sided. That side has a little bit more detail, and then this side is a little more plain. So you could use whichever side that you want. Then this little scrap of paper is basically like 5/8 by about 2.5. The Celebrate Every Moment. Now, if you want to use that, you can definitely use that on your cards at home. You could use anything else, actually. The stamp set, I know some of you got the Timeless Tropical Suite at home, or stamp set. You could stamp thank you or hello, rest and relax, you deserve it. This sentiment, though, Celebrate Every Moment. I know a lot of you already have this honeybee, or maybe you want to get it yet. It's on back order at the moment, but it will be available again later, I think in March or early April. So Celebrate Every Moment comes in there. Thinking of you, sweet friend, would be a really great sentiment to put on here too, because pineapples are usually sweet. So, all right, so I've already done my stamping for my card. And this is just a little strip of designer series paper from the suite. It is really little. It's 1/4 inch by about, let's see here what it is, by 3 1/4. So it's super, super skinny strip of paper. So what I'm gonna do first though, is we're gonna put the pineapple on to the card. So what I did is I'm gonna put liquid glue in some certain spots. I'm not gonna do the whole thing by any means, but I'm gonna find a couple bigger areas that I will be able to put some little dots, not a lot, into the pineapple here. So you can see I'm just finding some bigger areas. I'm not even going near the end. I wanna stay away from that. If I get too close to the end, it's gonna ooze all out on me. So make sure when you're assembling this, there's a little divot here. That's for the bottom. So I'm kind of like eyeballing it. That's about the middle where I want it. And just give that a second. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoy watching making these beautiful cards. So we got that down. Now this part right here, I have a bit of dimension going on up here, and I have it flat here. So when you're putting things together, don't be afraid to use different adhesives on the same piece of paper. That is quite all right. So what I've done is I take my mini dimensionals, I put one here, I'm gonna put one here, and I'm gonna put one up there. You know what? And I think I put one right there. So I'm gonna two right there. So I got 4 mini dimensionals on here. Oh, this finger, I'm gonna use the index finger again and try to get all those off in one fell swoop. Boom, okay? Now I'm doing the little bit of liquid glue. Oh, there's these guys down here. I'm gonna try to pop that out of there. Okay, look at that. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of liquid glue right along the base of this guy. Again, try to be light with your liquid glue. Then this just gets layered right on top of the pineapple in the middle, but it goes flat at the base to make it look like it's connected, and then you've got the other kind of like it's shooting off the page. Super, super cool. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, so there's the pineapple on here. Burlap, that's next. I'm going to put the burlap down, and that's gonna go somewhere like in the middle of the pineapple. When it comes to ribbon, I like to use the tear and tape, and this tear and tape is about the same thickness as the burlap. So what I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna use my glue scissors, and I'm gonna cut it in half. And it's called tear and tape. You could just tear off a little bit, but I wanted to cut that in half so it'd be skinnier. And I want that to go like right about here. So I'm gonna go to the edge here and pick that side off. And then I'm gonna go out to the edge on this side. So when you're using your different adhesives, just use the amount that you need. And I wanted that skinnier so it wasn't gonna stick out the edge. All right, so I'm gonna put my burlap. And what I'll do is I'm gonna put the burlap on one side to the length I need it, and then I'll be able to just trim the one side here. So this stuff is super cool. You can like spread out the burlap like that, and I'm gonna grab my ribbon scissors and trim off the one edge. Now this stuff does, if you cut off just a little bit less than that, it frays. So just be careful, I'll make a little mess for you. And then what I'm gonna do is pull, look at that, isn't that cool? Like you pull it apart a little bit. Now I've got this DSP. This is another case where your burlap here has a little bit of thickness to it. So if you put this on here, it's like kind of diagonal. And so this burlap is about the same like thickness as this dimensional is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off another snippet of that, and I'm gonna put that on the bottom edge of this designer series paper. And that's the part that's gonna hit the paper, and then it's gonna nestle right up into that. So now I'm just gonna center that left to right. Now I don't have any adhesive on the top half of that, which is okay because that'll give me the ability to like sneak my sentiment down in there. Okay, so that's that. Now the burlap, you don't really want to use liquid glue. It's not going to dry so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use tear and tape behind this on the bottom part of it. So let's see the bottom. So there I'm going to do the tear and tape here. And oh, be careful, don't do it, it hurts. And the struggle is real. All right, got it. So that is gonna be on the bottom, but now it's gonna be crooked because that burlap is there. So I'm gonna go back to my sheet of dimensionals and do the other half of that strip and put that at the top. So now it's going to give me a little bit of dimension on the top here. I'm going to tuck that kind of right underneath that designer series paper, and voila. Okay, what's left is our little trinket. There's a little leaf here. Oh my goodness, where are my glue dots? Let's see here. Well, oh, here they are. Boom, found them. All right, I love it when things are close by. All right, so we have our glue dots. Now you see I have my glue dots. There's a little ribbon that's wrapped around the paper. That's to help to hold the paper down. Thank you, Kathy Miller, for that trick. And so I'm gonna take my pick tool here and I'm gonna put the glue dot where I want to put my leaf. And there we go. All right, that looks like number 2 is done. So this one is my absolute favorite. So Gina Bulow, who is a good friend of mine and on my team, she designed this card for the Occasions Jamboree, and I totally cased it because I loved it. Thank you, Gina B. All right, so now we've got 2 done. That wasn't so bad. Okay, next, we've got some coloring in this one. I saved the coloring cards for last. Okay, so we have here, let's grab all of our bits and pieces. We've got some coloring. Blends are gonna be used. We've got the little hibiscus flowers in this one. And let's grab some bits here. I've got a little bit of a pile going on, so let me grab this in here. So I'm gonna need the lovely lipstick base, which is your 8.5 by 5.5. I've got a Daffodil Delight here. Then I've already stamped the flowers because when I try to make my cards, I try to do everything all together, but I've got that done, so you don't have to watch me do that. I've got the leaves. So there's 3 different sizes of leaves. Oh, that guy goes with this card. So there's 3 different leaves, and I'll talk about them in a bit. Here are this old olive, and then we've got the sentiment, and I think that's what I need for this. So let me set this stuff off to the side. All right, so we talked about our layers here. Oh, I need the designer series paper and an innard. So I have here's my inside, and here's this. So what I've got here is this piece of old olive. Let's grab the right one now. Old olive is 4 by 2 1/8, and I've already done my embossing on here with the Coastal Weave embossing folder. The DSP, so for the people that got kits from me, I actually gave you 2 pieces of this paper. One piece is this big and the other piece is that big. So because with designer series paper, you know, why waste it by covering it up? So I've given you 2 strips that are about that wide. So what you'll do is you'll glue the one strip on and then you'll glue the other strip. But because when I cut this, I actually cut the whole piece. I wasn't thinking, must have been late at night. I did the whole thing. So the DSP or Designer Series paper, for those of you at home that want to duplicate this card, the Designer Series paper, 2 of them, they're 3 13/16 by 1.5. And the daffodil piece here is 5 1/4 by 4. So the daffodil is your traditional mat. Okay, next I'm gonna glue the old olive piece on here. And I like the more popped up side to be on the top. And I do have this centered, so I'm gonna try to center that best I can. And once I have that done, I always like to flip my card over and see if I've got any extra hanging over the edge here, depending on how I cut my cardstock. Sometimes there's a little bit extra there, but I must have cut that one really good. And then I'll use a little bit of liquid glue on the Daffodil Delight and flip that over. All right, that just gets centered on there. All right, so the May Your Birthday Be Memorable, that does in fact come from the set. I think the fonts in this set are absolutely awesome. So that's where that font came from. Now, the die though for this comes from a set called Stitch So Sweetly Dies, and that was cut out of that one. Now, this is currently on back order, the stamp set and the framelits, but it's not gone forever. So if you do want it, it's still available, but it will be on back order for a bit. So we have that. We have our leaves here. So let's pull out our Stella pen and honor Bonnie and Stella them. Now you do know, maybe you don't know, but if your Stella starts to go dry on you and you don't have a lot, you can rejuvenate her. And you can rejuvenate her by twisting that off. Take your pokey tool, pull that black edge up. You can get right in there, pull it up, and you add a little bit of rubbing alcohol and water mixture and shake it up, and you are good to go with some more Stella. So those are going to sit off to the side. I am going to have you watch me color a little bit because sometimes people don't know how to use the blend markers. I've got in here, this is, I think, what color did I use here? Is it light Calypso Coral? Oh, it is. Look at that. I got light Calypso Coral, light Daffodil, and lipstick. So I've got these colors going on. So I started with my coral, and I'm going to color these both the same. So all I'm going to do is pull a little bit of the coral in the center, and I'm going to do that on both. Now, with the alcohol markers, you do want to be very delicate with the tips. Don't try to push hard. They are meant for blending. There wasn't much blending to do in this one, but there'll be more in this one. So you can see there's more yellow here. And I actually did grab, I just noticed it now, that I grabbed the dark daffodil. So it's gonna look a little bit different than my sample, but it'll still be pretty. I'm kind of going right over the top of the coral. So for those at home that need to do a little bit of your coloring for your kits, you can use these color markers, or if you have colored pencils at home, like Judy, I know that you're great at using colored pencils. You could color yours with any different colors, but I tried to pick the yellows and the pinks from the DSP. So, okay, so I got some yellow, and now that's really dark, super dark, but I'm gonna come back with my color lifter. I did do a little bit of the lipstick right in the middle here. So I'm using the thin end for this one, where the other 2 times I used the thick end. Now, this is where the color lifter really comes in. So the color lifter, it looks white, but it's just a clear marker. And what it is meant to do is help to lighten and lift color and to help blend. So right now they look really, like the pink looks really stark. And as I go lightly over the top of this, and I'm even gonna go over the area that I didn't color. So I'm gonna go all the way over the edge of my yellow, and it's like it's dragging the color and it's lightening it. You wanna go slow with these markers so that it allows time for the ink to soak into the paper. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between the one that I used the color lifter on and the one that I didn't. I'm going to try to go up close with it, but the one on the right is just slightly lighter, and you can just see it's blended a little bit more, so just softer looking. So I think too, I don't have my light daffodil down here, but what I'm going to do after this live is done is I'm going to go just fill in with a little bit of the light yellow, a little bit closer to the edges like I have for that one. Okay, so color lifter, again, it's not a white marker, even though the caps are white. What it's meant to do is help lighten and lift the alcohol marker color. It's helping blend. I find too that people use, when they go outside the line, you can go ahead and put a little dot of this on there. It helps to lighten where you've colored outside the line. Okay, so I've done enough with that. I'm happy. And what we've got left here is to put our sentiment on and our flowers on. And we need a little bit of ribbon. So let's see what we got going on here. So I popped up this with dimensionals. So let's put a few of them on here. And hi, Diane. I know you're coming in late, but I'm happy to have you here. Yay. Let's pull off this. You can always, when I'm done, watch the replay from the beginning. How are you doing on your swap cards, Diane? Did you make some good progress today? My customer swap group, they're due today, and I have a few people that I'm waiting on cards yet for them. So, okay, so we got our label down. Now what I've done is these leaves, I tucked them in last, and what I did is I kind of placed these flowers right about that. And you know, what I'm gonna do is, I didn't push that down hard. I'm actually gonna move a little closer to the right side because my flowers are gonna fill in a lot over here. Perfect, I like that. The other thing that there's this little bit of burlap here, and I'm seeing that now. I've gotta you take your burlap, I just fold it, get a little bit what you want, and let's see what we wanna do here. I think tear and tape is gonna work good, and a glue dot. So what I'm gonna do for this burlap, I'm gonna take one glue dot, and I'm gonna kind of put it in the inside of the burlap to help keep it so that it's shut. And then I think what I will do next is actually just take another one of these glue dots. These are like really super sticky glue dots. So then all I'm gonna do is tuck that up in the corner here so it's like that. Okay. So this is kind of popping up right here. If that happens to you, all you have to do is take another one. I'm going to try to get this off of here. All you have to do is take another dimensional. I'm going to put that on the edge of here and put that and secure it right along each of these ends. So in this time, it might be easier to just do that. Okay, see, by doing that, you've secured an extra dimensional on both sides. So now your sentiment can stay flat. And then I'm going to just trim this little guy ever so slightly. Now, if you like them just hanging like that, that's great. If you want, you could put glue dots underneath these too to also get them to go flat. But on this guy, I know that my flowers on this side, I did not use any dimensionals, but on the other sides here, I did do dimensionals. So what I'm going to do is put one up on the top of this one, that one, that one. Get your papers off. Nancy, hey there, girlfriend. Happy to have you here. You're holed up in your hotel room yet. I wish I could have sent some card kits to you so you could make them. Express delivery. Wish the Pony Express was still working, right? Okay, that guy is gonna go right around here. And then the next one, I'm gonna pop up with dimensionals. And I actually, if you look at this, I didn't even like, I forgot to put glue. I forgot to put that there, the glue. So I'm gonna fix this one as long as I'm at it. Okay, put a little glue there. Now, same concept with the other flower. I'm just gonna put a couple dimensionals on this top part. So right there, and right there. And then we're gonna put a little bit of glue along the bottom. And that's the part that goes onto the label. All right, so that's gonna go, I tried to cross them so that like little gap was covered up. Perfect, boom. And you're wondering about the leaves. Some people would have attached the leaves directly to the back of the flower, but I don't know where exactly the leaves are gonna go. So I like to just sneak my leaves in. So all I did was put a little dimensional there. I'm gonna tuck that in right there. And then this one, I'm just gonna put a little dimensional right about here. And that will go tucked in on this side over like so. And then the last one is gonna come out the bottom part of the flower over here. So, isn't that awesome? You can just tuck your flowers in right where they need to go instead of trying to glue them to the back of the flower. All right, got a little bit of diamond action going on here. So this is where Gina taught me how to do the scissors move like that. Just take it, pick it up, put it right in the middle. I hope I remembered to put your diamonds in your kits. I'm pretty sure I did. But all right, last but not least is a flower. Flower power. And I think that I don't have a flower in here. So pretend that this is a flower and the flower would go right there. So I have to open up another pack of trinkets to get a flower out, but I have one. But so in your kits though, you got the flower. And again, you would just use one of the little glue dots to put your flower on right there. All right. Boom, our inside. Forgot about that. So you're gonna stamp your flower in the bottom corner here because that matches. And then when you're coloring your flowers here, just make sure you color your inside flower and then stamp a nice little birthday sentiment or whatever you want in that. So yay, all right, not doing so bad. We got an hour down and we didn't even really start for the first 10 minutes and we have one card left to go. And I saved the best for last. No, not really. My pineapple's my best one, I think. But this one is the one that is the color me happy. I think I saved the most coloring for last. So, let's grab out one of each of these. We need, we need one hibiscus flower. We need the 2 leaves. Here is a piece of this. And then I've got little bits of designer paper. And I'll go through the little measurements in a second. But I'm going to pull out my pieces. And we have a piece of sap. This is actually Sahara sand is the color here, not crumb cake. And look at that, I got another flower like that. I'm gonna show you girls how to emboss. Cheryl's here, yay! All right, Cheryl, I'm gonna do some embossing. And Angie, I think Angela wanted to see some embossing as well. So I'm gonna show you. I've done some of them here already, and also Terry and Lori, you girls, I wanted some embossing. So let's start with the card base first. So this is Flirty Flamingo, same thing, 8.5 by 5.5. And the inside mat and the Sahara sand mat are 5 1/4 by 4. So that'll be for here, but we've got a little bit of stamping and there are some leaves like here, 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 here. So, and then I've got this hibiscus flower is the same flower as the last card, the small one. So that'll go on our inside and our paper here. So this one, I'm gonna actually go through and emboss because I didn't do this embossing, but this paper is Sahara sand. And you know what I pulled in? I pulled in the stitch rectangles. It's this one right here. So I've already done that die cutting. But for those of you who haven't done any embossing, if you're watching this and you never embossed, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna pull out my Big Shot and I'm gonna just layer it on top of where I'm working right now. And let's see if we can make this work. So you've got a clear plate or a blue plate. The clear plate is for the old style of embossing folders, but this is a new style. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer. Now I cut this out so my stitching that's down is facing down, and I know that like when the emblem Stampin' Up! Is on the top, it kind of, that's the way to do it so that the impression that you want is on the top. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Probably not, but I'll show you what I mean. So when the Stampin' Up! Logo is on the top, that is what I want on top most of the time. So when I use the Big Shot, I'm going to put in the embossing folder with the spine going in first. The blue plate goes on the top, making sure that it's lined up. You just run this through, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle with it, just a little bit. Okay. All right. So what I meant about that is I'm going to pull this out of here, and the imprint that, oh, I don't know if you can see it really. Oh, there it is. There it is. the imprint, that pattern, like I like that at the top, where this is like the reverse of it. It's like indented. And so I know that usually that puff up is when you put the Stampin' Up to the top. Little hint, I think. So, all right, let's get the big shot out of the way. All right, so we've got this prepped and ready for us. Our pieces of designer series paper, these are all 3 from the set. They are, let's see here, skinny, 3 3/4 by 1, 3 1/2 by 7/8, and 3 by 1/2. Oop, I want that side, 3 by 1/2. Okay, so those are our sizes. So that's that. There's gonna be a little bit of burlap we're gonna pull in here. And let's do some stamping. So this is the leaf, and haha, Nancy, guess what? I'm using your stamps. Nancy, before she left for Vegas, she asked me what I needed, and she gave me her Timeless Tropical set. So I'm using your leaf right now, because I had the other leaf to use with the black ink, but I'm not even gonna need it, but whatever. All right, so we've got Sahara Sand ink, and I'm gonna stamp a couple leaves, well actually 4 leaves, one near the top, one in the middle, kind of out just a hair further, and there's gonna be one peeking out this bottom corner like that, and then there's another one peeking out over near this corner. Boom, that's it. So Sahara Sand ink with the leaf for that. With this card, I had Nancy stamp all lined up because I thought I would be doing some stamping here for you, but I've already done that, so I don't need to stamp more for you because it's done. So this then is ready to get glued onto our Flirty Flamingo card base. So I'll pull out the liquid glue, a little bit like that. And that gets adhered to the front of the card base. One thing I always do before I glue is I open up the card. I don't know if you saw that I did that, but I make sure that it's facing the right way, not that you glue it upside down. That wouldn't be the worst thing. It would be a trick card, is what we call them. So the next thing that we can do on here is we're gonna glue our Flirty Flamingo strip of DSP. We're gonna glue the Pool Party, and then we're gonna glue the So Saffron. So pull out more of your liquid glue. And what you can do is prep all of them. So you could do that one. The glue doesn't dry so fast, so we'll be able to do all 3 of those and glue them in no time. Make sure when you're using designer series paper that you do it the right way. So like my flamingos are up and down here, especially when you cut paper too. It's important that you want to cut the paper so that the birds are going that way. So, all right, this guy will go like so, and then, so you can see here with the liquid glue, you can wiggle it around until you get it straight how you like it. Then we're gonna grab the Pool Party piece. Now this, I like my fans going up like that, and that kind of nestles right in the middle like so. All right, and then the last piece, pineapples, same thing. Make sure your pineapples, I know you don't really see them on the side, but make sure they're not upside down. You'll feel better if they're not upside down. All right, so like so. Now we have a little bit of tear and tape because we're going to put our burlap down. And again, I'm gonna cut this in half so that it's skinnier. And I'm doing that right along the edge of the yellow here. And I'm gonna do, oh, no, I'm gonna go like this, pull off, and then you might overlap in the middle just depending on how much you cut, and that's quite all right. And then we're gonna pull some of your burlap. Now for you guys that got the kits from me, your burlap is already cut. You might have to trim it down though. So wanted to make sure you had enough. So when you put that down, make sure you get the one side where you want it, and then you'll just trim off a little from the other side. Okay, so I got that done. All right, moving right along here. So we have this piece right here. That is our stitched rectangle. I have that popped up with dimensionals like that. And, oh, I wish I had somebody here to pick up all my dimensional backs for me. I would love it. I bet another week and you won't even hear me talking about taking off dimensionals. It'll be like nobody's business again. Boom. Okay. Got that done. Now, I look at that and it's about the same to me, but I'm gonna go with this. Now it's pretty much centered left to right and in the middle of the page. So again, when you put down your pieces of paper, you don't, like, if you kind of think, oh, that's where I want it, but then if you squish it down right now, it's gonna be hard to pull it. Whereas now if I want to, I could pull this off and reposition it. Once you get it exactly where you want it, then go ahead and push it down really good. Now for coloring, we've basically got a few things left. We've got our flower and then the embossing. Woo, the favorite part of the night, embossing. So for the markers I've got Old Olive, light and dark. And so for doing leaves, what I generally do is I take the dark blend and I color the veins. I'm taking the thin end because I don't want it too thick. And I'm just coloring the veins with the darker tip, or the darker marker, like that. And I'll do the other one right away while I'm at it. Now the finer tip is a little bit more durable. I'm not pushing really hard and I'm just going lightly over the veins. Okay, so that's gonna be it for that color. Now this is where I'm gonna take the thick end of the light Old Olive. Now this is where I'm gonna really wanna go slower and allow the ink to soak into the paper. You wanna go in circular motions so that it doesn't create any lines, and you definitely go over the dark areas. And by going over the dark areas, it really allows for them to blend together. So you can see here, I'm almost done with this one. And then I go right back over it. See, I went outside the line there. That's where you could take your color lifter and try to lighten that up, but nobody's gonna notice it. We're also particular and picky of our cards when we're making them, but then when you give them out, nobody really notices the little teeny tiny little details. So like that outer lines. So we're always harder on ourselves than we need to be. Okay, so we got the leaves done. Now to color the flower. This is Dark Daffodil Delight. I'm gonna save that for last. And I've got the dark lipstick and dark flirty. That's coral, dark flirty. So we're gonna take the brush tip end, and what I'm gonna do is this inner area of the flower, I'm just pulling in the color over that area. Going lightly with my marker, different, like it's not all uniform like a circle. Okay, so I'm just pulling in a little bit of color there. I'm trying to avoid the stamen right there. All right, so you know, that looks really dark. It does. When you see that, it's like, woo. So now this is where the dark flirty flamingo comes in. So when you are blending, you go over the top. This is brand new. I just took the wrapper off of this dark flirty flamingo. Oh my goodness, we really used it in class a lot not too long ago, but it's brand new. When you use this marker, you go over the dark area and work your way around the entire surface of the flower. Again, going slow. You can just point on this marker is exquisite right now. I love it. I get to use my marker first this time. Normally I'm giving them out in class and everybody else gets to use them first. Yay! Okay, so I'm going back over this area. As I keep working around my flower, I'm gonna keep going back over the area where the lipstick is. And little by little, that line where the lipstick was, it starts to disappear. So that's what's the goal, is not having lines. That's what these blends are so awesome about. So like over here, you can see it's softened. I continue to go over that. And then now I'm gonna keep going over this one. Go over the whole pink area. And then you can go over this area again and just soften it. All right, almost done. I know that coloring is a tedious thing. You know, I'll tell you, when people color in class, and it's a joke that we have, everybody's so quiet, and here I'm coloring and I'm talking the entire time. And so you thought I'd be quiet while I'm coloring, and I'm not going to. All right, so I'm gonna leave the yellow part, just one little petal left, and then we'll get to the embossing, I promise. So this is Flirty Flamingo Dark, and then dark lipstick. So you can see here, slowly going in circles and softening. So I'm gonna go back over this go over that a little bit more. And then that. So, oh my goodness, all I did was color this and my hand is starting to cramp up. All right, like it, love it, want some more of it? Okay, so that's that. Then we have a little bit of the yellow, and that's gonna go right in the middle. Boom. Okay, done with coloring. Whew, smells like alcohol markers in here. So this also, if you wanted to, you could use the color lifter and soften this a little bit. I know you're probably not going to see it in the camera, but it helps to blend and soften. Okay, now I'm going to say that's good to go. Okay, in this case, let's see what I did. I think I attached my leaves. Maybe I did. Let's see here. We're going to put this. Oh, I want my flower thing, stamen, pointing up. So I've got that like this, and I'm gonna have one leaf come out like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a dimensional over on the side. Look at all that coloring. You know you colored good when the back looks like that. I promise you. That means it looks good. Okay, so that's gonna go one down here, one there, and we gotta have a spot for our leaf to stick out over here. So I'm gonna wait on that, and I'll put one here. Okay, so I'm trying not to put dimensionals where I need to tuck the leaves into. You know, otherwise your leaves aren't going to want to go in. So, okay, so you can see that I put the dimensionals closer to the edge, and this is what I like to do with my flowers. I'm going to kind of curl it a little bit, and I'm going to put some liquid glue right in the middle. So my center is going to be flat, and my outsides are going to be more popped up and pronounced. And this guy looks something like that. And now this is going to allow me to tuck a leaf in, but I did on this card, I did a double stack of a dimensional. So our dimensionals are kind of thin. So if you want to get a little bit more height, thanks, you like my coloring job, yay, thanks Karen. So I don't mind coloring, but I don't love it. My friend Gina loves to color. You know Gina, she was at the Jamboree. She demonstrated with this suite of products. Oh my God, I just thought of that now. She did. So she did a fabulous job. She is the best color in the world that I know of. So, all right, we're gonna pop this leaf right behind here. So you see how I did liquid glue at the bottom and I did a double stack at the top. So we're gonna tuck the leaf in, and then our double stack leaf is there. I should have put that one on the bottom because that's the one where I colored outside the lines, but whatever. So, okay, so we got that like that. Now, I don't believe I did a double stack on this one because it really wasn't hanging off the edge. But don't be afraid to curl your leaves a little bit, the petals. So I'm gonna grab one here, put that on the back, put a little dot of liquid glue yonder there, and this is gonna go right down the center of that like inner thing. All right, I'm gonna have it come off just a little. All right, looking good. All right, we have the grand finale of the embossing of on our black here with white. So Angela, Cheryl, Terry, Lori, ears up, buttercups. So embossing, you need to have a stamp with what you want to stamp to emboss. An embossing buddy comes in super handy. An embossing buddy is a chalk pillow. It helps with static electricity. It helps with, so your little particles don't stick all over the place. And sometimes that helps and sometimes it doesn't. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the chalk pillow and you're gonna run it over your paper. So when you do this on black, it sometimes leaves like a little bit of a residue of powder there, and that's okay. You could just take your finger and lick it and like wipe it off. Just kidding, you don't wanna do that. Keep your fingers out of your mouth. But you could take like a baby wipe and kind of just wipe over it. Let's see if I have any baby wipes on the table. I do. I'll show you what I mean. Don't use your finger. I was just joking. But what happens when you do this is it gets a little bit of like chalk residue and you really notice it on black. So don't worry, we'll get that off of there. And then you put that back in there and you get powder all over your fingers. What you need is a Versamark pad, which is like a pigment pad. So it's a really ooey gooey sticky pad, which helps to keep the embossing powder sticking to it. So I keep my embossing powder in like a Rubbermaid like this. It's actually Tupperware. And what I do is I have the jar in here, and sometimes I even keep a little spoon in here, but this time I don't. I'm getting to the end of my embossing powder. I'm very proud of myself. There's not a lot in here, but don't fear. I have a whole brand new one here. That rhymed. And I just like to use up things before I use up the next thing. So, or start the next thing. So we're gonna use this because there's plenty of it in there for us. So what you wanna do on the Versamark pad is you wanna lightly tap on here and get ink on it. I say lightly because it's a pigment pad, it's a really foamy pad. So the harder you press, the more inclined you are to get ink around the edge here. And then when you stamp that, you get a halo. And you don't see the halo because this ink is clear. So I'm giving it a second for letting the ink transfer to the black. And then you can't see it. I know you can't because I can hardly see it. It's invisible. And so what you're gonna do is pour your embossing powder over the top of the paper. And I'm shaking, I'm not hitting the paper. I'm actually tapping my hand, which is tapping the paper. And I see I got one little teeny tiny guy right there. So I'm gonna grab him and get him off of there. So now that I've got him stamped, I've got him embossed. So these are teeny tiny pieces of plastic pellets that we're going to melt. So Stampin' Up! Sells these, or I sell them through Stampin' Up! In white, there's black, there's shimmery black, there's shimmery white, I believe. There's silver, there's gold, there's clear. So you could almost get any color you wanted because of clear. So I have an old style embossing gun. I think this thing is probably 15 years old. They make new ones that are gray, but it's available for purchase. And what you're gonna do, I'm doing this off to the side so you can't see. I'm just letting the heat gun warm up. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the camera, but I'll try. I doubt it, but what happens is you don't wanna burn your fingers. So you wanna move your fingers a little bit away. But what's gonna happen is you're just gonna trace the words until you see it melt the plastic. And so boom, that was it. It went really fast. And so I'm gonna move this off to the side. I hope you heard me while I was doing that. But basically what's happened is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically melted the little teeny tiny pieces of plastic, and now you can rub your finger across it and it's glossy and it's heated. So it pretty much is ready to go right away. If you're gonna go die cut this out with a die cutting machine, you wanna give it a second because sometimes the wax will get stuck to the plastic plates, but pretty much that's it. Super, super cool. 21 years ago, when I was introduced to stamping, I was introduced to heat embossing, and it was hook, line, and sinker. So super cool technique. So I know Lori and Terry, you have your gun, you have everything you need to do this. So I challenge you to get it done. Make your project. So that's my glue scissors, is super, super gooey. So got my paper scissors here. So with this card, let's bring this back. So I gave everybody in their kits a little black piece of paper so that you can do your own stamping on it. It's bigger than what it needs to be. So all you're gonna do is take the scissors and you're just gonna cut some straight lines, and voila, you've got hello, hello, hello. Like Adele would say hello, or the commercial hello. All right, boom. So the other option too is you've got thank you is really pretty in there. This would be a really pretty thank you card. I really think that the black with the white embossing really pops on this card. So that's that. That's heat embossing in a nutshell. So what do I have left on here? Oh, we got to put the hello on here. So what did I do? I put it right about there. And I don't like, you girls know me, I want things, I got to cut that a little bit shorter. So we'll put that right there. And we're going to put that on with a little bit of liquid glue. So that's flat. I didn't pop that up. I mean, you could pop it up, but I think the flower's already popped up. This Sahara sand piece was popped up. So we're just going to glue that right about yonder there. Okay, so what's left? Bling. You got to bling it up. So I'm going to grab my glue scissors and grab 3 diamonds because they are a girl's best friend. We're gonna put one little guy there, and I'm gonna put a couple right over here. So I put 3 diamonds in your kits for you to put wherever you want. I liked them there. All right, so wowzers. How are we doing? You liking? You like the 3 or 4 cards we did? I can't believe it. Oh, a diamond fell off. So let's put that guy a little back. And we did it. So we made 4 cards. I did have a little bit of the prep work done. I like that. If you like that too, let me know, because I could show you how to die cut. I could show you more things, but it's like, well, let's get the cards made. That's what the important thing was on this video, was to show those people that got the kits how to put them together and how to do some stamping. All right, so these are our 4 cards. Wow, very, very cool. Okay, lighting was a lot better tonight, wasn't it? I got some lamps like shining down on me right now. So I like that compared to what I had the last couple times. So, whew, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So thumbs up from Diane. I like that. Thank you. So, okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to move them aside because I do have a couple more announcements that I just want to make. For those that joined late, you want to go back and catch the replay, because I did bring out my class schedule and I talked about what my plans are for the rest of April. Well, we know pretty much for the rest of March, but for the rest of April. But there is still time left in March. I couldn't believe it. It's March 25th today, and like, there's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, like next Tuesday is the 31st. So there's like 5 days left of celebration, right? Oh my gosh. So I know that you feel like you probably have everything in celebration catalogs, which this last one came out. Oh my gosh, there's the pineapple. But they just released yesterday, the 24th, they released like 8 or 10 more different things that are out of the annual catalog. So know that. And then the other thing is too, that it's still for those people that are customers that aren't on my team or somebody else's team, right now is the best time of the year to sign up. You get a starter kit for $99. The starter kit is whatever you want in it, anything out of either catalog, any catalog basically. You get $125 worth of product for just $99 plus tax. It ends up being like $104 and change. But you also get this cute, adorbsy little paper cutter, which I use. You think, well, it's not great for big paper. That's true. But when I have to cut like this little stuff like this is awesome. Like, if you didn't want to use your scissors and see, like, you saw me struggling and I was like, I didn't have it straight. Like, oh my gosh, just don't cut your fingers off with it. There is like a little guide, but I took mine off because I want to be able to do stuff like that. Boom! Like, cut that little piece of paper, like, oh my gosh, right here. So you can't get that with the bigger trimmer that they have. Like, awesome. I wish I would have put this. I might go back and put this one on top of the other one because I don't have little crooked lines all over. But this little paper trimmer is adorable. It is great for packing away if you're going to be traveling, to bring a little cutter along. Okay, so you get that for free, but then you also get a pack of paper. You get the designer series paper, none of the specialty paper, but all of the other paper. And it's the birthday bonanza set, the golf club set, the purse set, some tropical papers in there, the best dress is in there, the lilies in there. Oop, there was actually some poppies in there. Boom, cool. So you get a pack of paper. The value of that is like $11.50. The trimmer is like $15. And then a stamp set of your choice. The most expensive, Nancy, you were just asking about this. Like, the most expensive stamp set in the catalog is, I think, $39. It's the Rooted in Nature. So $39 value plus the $15 plus the $11.50. Free shipping. You get a paper pumpkin in there, like a past paper pumpkin. So super cool. If anybody's looking to sign up, you just let me know if you have any questions. It is still the best time of the year to sign up, and it's not too late. All right, so I've got that. Don't forget to like and share the video. I know some of you joined a little bit later. If you like and join the video, like and join the video, like and share the video. I don't know where my head just went there. Like and join. But if you like and share, I'm giving away a set of 3 cards. I don't even know where I put them anymore. Oh, over here. I got lots of stuff going on. If you like and share the video, I'm going to do a drawing for one person to win a set of each of these cards that I made in the paper pumpkin video yesterday. So you get one of each of these plus the envelope, and I'll mail it in a bigger envelope so that you can give out handmade cards to somebody that needs a little pick-me-up. Okay, and then tomorrow, my goal is to go live every day, except for maybe Saturday and Sunday. I don't know. Tyler and my mom work me hard on the weekends. around the house. So I'm still sore. My back is hurting. And so I'm definitely going to be live tomorrow. I'm shooting for 5 as soon as I'm done with work. And I want to show you how to make this card from the Painted Poppy set. And I might do a couple more. I did a product-based class earlier in the month, and we made 4 cards, and I've got them ready to assemble and do a little coloring. So maybe we'll make all 4 of them so that the people that couldn't make it to that, there's 3 people that didn't come to that class, maybe then they can see the video. But we're gonna definitely do this card. And Sarah Simon made this box and gave it to me. It had chocolates in it, and it had a card similar to this one. And I thought I'm going to dissect this box and figure out the measurements and show you how to put it together so that you have a cute little box that you can put a gift in with a matching card. So I think that would be great. Soledad, my friend, wanted me to do some projects on here so that the kids in school, like when they're at home and they have paper to use up, they can make gifts or little handmade projects or handmade items. So this one's for you, Soledad. I found a box and I'm gonna put it together. And so if you're home with Isabella tomorrow, you can definitely watch at 5. I'm gonna go for 5 or 5:15. We're gonna put this box together. So I'll give you all the measurements and make the cards. So, okay, that's cool, right? I don't know what I have lined up for Friday. I'm back over here. I don't know what I have lined up for Friday, but whew, that was a lot of stamping, girls. I did it in an hour and a half. That wasn't so bad. So 4 cards, lots of showing and telling, and I can see that I worked up a little shine going on. So, but who cares? That's it, I think. So I appreciate any orders, as always. It's still, I have the 3 kits. I have 3 sets. So you know how it's like 3 cards down here? 3 sets. I will put those together. And if you want to place an order to get them, $25 minimum order gets you a set of the 4 cards all made up, or $15. So once the 3 are gone, though, I'm done. I'm not going to make more like one-offs for it. So that's super cool. And then also watch for an updated schedule. So all right, girls and boys, gotta say that. So I hope you had a great time stamping with me. I truly love this. I couldn't believe it. I feel like you're here with me, but you're not. But I can check to see who's all in. So, all right, thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. You told me I did a good job. So, back here tomorrow at 5, and we'll go from there. Yay. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. Love you. Spread the love. Bye.